Now that you've seen the cutting and the unboxing, I just have a couple of extra thoughts to give for this sword. This is, of course, the LK Chen Wo Yao Dao. I believe it's one of the, I guess, relatively newer sabers that they're offering. As you'll notice in the unboxing, it did not come in a sword box, just the bag, and then that is in the cardboard box. The bag is pretty nice. It seems to be silk. I don't know if it's actually silk, but it is nice. It's actually embroidered. This is not printed fabric, and then there's a nice liner. It is snagged in a couple of places where the tape from the packaging had gotten onto the bag, but overall it's nice. Overall, the quality of the sword, it's very nice, very good looking, but I would say it's definitely geared more towards use and handling rather than being just a fancy display piece. I think given its price, it's around $400. I think that's pretty good. Because I definitely got it to be a cutter and feel how one of these swords handles. I didn't get it just as a display piece. So that is the bag. As far as the scabbard, this is fake ray skin, which is actually fairly nice. It has a good feel to it. It does feel a little bit rubbery, but it is nice. And then it is stitched up the bottom. You can see the seam. Everything with the scabbard is nice and tight. I, of course, haven't banged it around too much, but it is nice. It is a little bit heavy with the iron fittings, and these are painted like the fittings on the sword, which if you've done some research in LK Chen, you probably know already. I think that's historical, I think is the idea. And it does look good, but as others have said, that paint can chip off over time. The opening to the scabbard, well, you'll see the metal rim does go around. It is made in such a way that when you draw the sword out, the blade only rubs on the wood that's there in front of that. So you don't really have to worry about, as you're drawing the blade, you're not going to hit that steel. Maybe with the tip as you come out right at the end, but the blade as you're drawing in and out is not going to rub against that metal. It's just hitting the wood. If you're not careful and you accidentally bump, it's just going to be the wood. So that is a nice feature of the scabbard. The sword overall, again, as I said, it's very nice. I got the mono steel version, so this is not the patterned one. Again, because I was looking more for just a practical cutting sword, because I wanted to feel how it handles, do some more training. I'm not as familiar with Chinese swords as I am with some of the others, and definitely not disappointed in that. There are a couple blemishes. When I got it, it almost looks like they did a test cut with it, so there was a couple scuff marks, not a big deal. And then there's a slight bit of discoloration right at the tip. You probably won't be able to see that on the video. I'll try and get a picture of that, which is maybe how to do it with the heat treat or maybe the polish. But overall, very nice. I wouldn't say it's flawless, but it is very nice, very clean. Nothing that would affect performance. This blade definitely has some heft to it. I know some of the other LK Chen blades are fairly light, almost absurdly light for how large they are. This, on the other hand, is fairly hefty. It does feel, I guess, more like a Japanese katana blade put into a saber handle. So there is some thickness on the back of the spine. There is nice distal taper, so the balance is good. It is a bit far out from the handle. It doesn't feel too unwieldy. So overall, the balance is nice. The overall weight is good. It definitely makes some very nice cuts due to that weight. The sharpness of the blade is good. I believe LK Chen on their website mentions it is sword sharp, and that is, it's not razor sharp. It's not going to shave hairs, but as you can see, it went through the bottles fairly nicely. And it's going to cut most targets that you put out. Definitely tatami, it would easily go through. The handle is on the larger size. My hands are about a medium, maybe a little bit smaller than a men's medium in gloves. And the handle definitely feels a little bit large for me. I'm not used to this kind of handle. It's definitely very square, which I know is historical to these pieces. This is almost a one-to-one copy of a historical piece, which you can find more information on the LK Chen website. But this handle definitely feels a little bit large to me when I'm trying to control the blade. Due to the square fittings, you can't choke all the way up to the guard here. You do have to hold a little bit down. And that it just rubs into your bone the wrong way. It's probably not going to matter how tough your hands are. That's just not comfortable, not easy to control if you're choking all the way up in the guard. So you do have to hold a little bit back, which gives it even a little bit more forward balance. And then the square, the rectangular shape of the handle, which if you can see there, it is a little bit narrower at the front than it is the back. But it's a little bit hard for me to hold on to, as my hand is just, I think, just a little bit too small for this handle. So for people who like larger handles, I know sometimes Western sword collectors complain about swords from the East having too small of handles. This one definitely does not have that problem. Maybe a little bit too big for some people. But if you do have a large hand, this is going to feel really nice. I think in the saber grip with the thumb up the back, there's actually plenty of room to do that, even if your hands are larger than mine. And that actually feels very comfortable and feels like you get some really good handling with the sword like that. Although I'm not sure that my wrists are strong enough to do that. So that is the overall blade. As you saw in the cutting, it did cut well through the bottles. There are a couple that I think I was having trouble with edge alignment, and again, I think that has to do with the handle. I'm not used to this kind of handle, and I believe that was all me, not necessarily the sword, because as you can see on other cuts, it cut fine. So it'll probably take a little bit for me to get used to. Overall, though, the Wo Yao Dao from LK Chen, I would definitely recommend. It seems like a good value for the money.